another episode of the Deep Real Talk, and today I am so excited because I have my brother, Abiti Ish, who is going to be talking, with me about that topic. Why are successful single women still single? Yeah, it's like a tongue twister, Hi, Abiti Ish.
Hi, Deborah. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you.
I'm so excited because at least you're going to give me a male perspective to this. So I want to know, when you were dating, when you were courting, because you're married now.
Yes.
Did you find it difficult, first and foremost, to just ask someone out? Did you find that hard?
I think so. Asking out, maybe because for some of us, dating wasn't a welcomed topic in the church, so you wouldn't outrightly say, I'm going out on a date, I'm dating so and so.
Okay.
But friending people, making friends with this one and that one, and that became part and parcel of who I was, and not necessarily with an intention of saying I want to marry, but getting to know a person, getting to say, this is who I am, where do I come from, where am I going, and literally at some point you could be able to say, look, I wouldn't mind going out on a movie with someone and not necessarily say anything after all, but be able to say, look, we can go to a church music concert or something together. But I don't mean that you are now my person. So it wasn't,
Okay, so alright, so already you had that church thing.
Yes.
That was in the background, that was playing a role in how you approached dating and courtship. Okay, so now let's put that aside and say, okay, now you've got that, but how, when it came to a woman, let's say you met a lady who was successful, did you find it extra hard to ask her out, or was it the same as any girl?
Oh man, it's a bit difficult to think of. First of all, the attraction being that she's successful.
Okay.
I think maybe the issue is, how do I see the person first? If they were viewing themselves as successful and me as less successful, maybe that would have been difficult for me to approach them, because already I am in a category of the less successful and she is in the category of more successful or something. But if that person is maybe someone I met along the way, they became successful, or even though they were successful, they were willing to treat me as a normal person, like, didn't make it out there that, look, you're not successful or anything.
Okay.
It opened doors for one to say, hey, I'm watching a movie this weekend, where are you going? Or look, there's a concert out there, would you come along? And if someone is willing to allow you to invite them to your own kind of world and space, it's easier to do that. But if you say to someone, look, I'm going to, say for instance, a concert in Guatemala as compared to a concert in Senti, and you say to the person, I'm going to Guatemala, and you realize this person would be, oh, what are we talking about? No, do you think that is my place? So it would make me feel, what's the use of inviting this person, because they will never pitch to such an event.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now let's go to the question. Why do you think successful women who are single are still single? Like you touched on these two very important points. That number one, she thinks she's successful, and so she defines herself that way, and whoever comes to her, that's her first reference. Okay. Then the second thing you said is that she does not come to your world because she thinks that's below her, and she does not open herself to to be open-minded and exploring new things because she thinks I'm successful and I can't be there, which in itself is pride and snobbish.
It could sound like that. it is intimidating, yes, like you say. So if I am, say for instance, in that space at that time, looking at this person and they are more successful than I am, I joked earlier that there is a possibility that someone would have, even today, thinking to themselves, I literally intimidated him.
Yes.
He's amongst the boys and the men who approached me then,
Yes.
but he was too scared to actually pop the question or to go beyond the friendship zone.
Yes.
And I intimidated Ishmael, and they're probably sitting out there, and there's people who might be feeling, well, there was that intimidation, you know,
Yes.
and it is scary. You are right for men to be not in control.
Yes.
To be not in control, whether we're talking financially, whether we're talking about your intellect or in any other area of their lives where they feel I am not responsible for. Some of us, it's a question of I'm not responsible for the success of this woman.
Sure.
And so it doesn't. The whole point of wanting to date, you're thinking maybe I will be contributing. So what will I add to that person? That
Sure.
you know, because if I come into her life, there will be nothing to add. There will be nothing to change. There will be my contribution would be minimal. Sometimes it's a question of no, I my voice would not be heard, and even then in dating, sometimes it is like that, where your voice is not heard, where the ability to listen to the other person doesn't come through, or if you make a suggestion for something, the person will want to take it to the notch higher than you already feeling comfortable, because also in my own space, probably I am sitting and saying, this is where I'm comfortable, and yet the woman takes the
conversation higher.
Conversation higher, takes the decisions much higher. I do feel in our country, in the world has changed, a whole lot has changed, and how we have dated in the past, where not so many women were successful earlier on. Education wasn't playing that much of a role. I was listening to some oldies guys who are now married for many years, and when you listen to them, how they met, you will realize that there was always a question of the man being the initiator, being in a dominant role financially, education-wise. So you would have gone to marry someone who is still doing high school and they are already passing university, or they are doing their final year. So I was like, oh, this is how men then were socialized in terms of their approach. And now that the world has changed so fast, I think us as men or as boys, we still left down there where you are looking at the standard and saying, if I were to marry, maybe I will go down, instead of matching yourself with someone who is also successful and all of that. But also I think the busy life that maybe women are now in could also be a contribution. Women are much more busier. If, for instance, you are a lady and you did not date at high
school.
Not leave the high school, maybe
University.
let's go at university. Yes.
University.
So if you went beyond university, now you got your PhD.
Yes.
There is less and less men in that
who are
PhD.
willing to.
If a man is doing PhD, he's possibly engaged, is married.
Exactly.
So if you are there, you possibly just all by yourself. And the other guys who you could have dated probably are not even ambitious enough to go into to having a PhD, to be doing their MBA and all of it. So that is the cycle that you find yourself in. So success could also be the contributory factor in terms of what the world has now offered and says, this is what you can have, this is what you can't have.
Sure. I've actually never thought of it that way, that you almost thin out your options the higher you go.
Yes.
But then do you think then, the men, do you think that there's any way of getting guys to feel more secure in themselves, that they can see that even if she is successful, she still needs a hug, she still needs a companion? Because a woman, as much as you're successful, you go home to that big empty house and there's no one. You want that guy who can laugh with you, hug you, love you. That's what you bring to the table. Do you think if that was out there, that message was more put out there to say, guys, look, no matter how great she looks, no matter how cheeky she is,
yes,
this is what she needs. Do you think that would make a difference? Do you think that would give guys more a drive and comfort, reassurance to approach someone and say, hi, can we go for coffee?
If it was spoken enough, we've built enough success for the girls and for our daughters and for women. And we've done, I think, I'm not saying enough as in that, but we've done the best we can to uplift the standard of women.
Yes.
While at the same time, we've not done enough to do
for the
boys. And even to build their self-esteem. That's what you're talking about. The lack of a man knowing that you as a woman aren't asking a man to know it all, to fix it all, to be the breadwinner, to be the security provider, to bring comfort to the home, and all of that. So it's not all those things that are out there, but it is love, it is attention, it is that devotion that women are looking for. How then do we do that? Because we are still telling a man, you must have the purse, you must be able to provide security and all of that. So the world needs to change for that space to be developed, for men to be able to then be able to talk to women in a way that they are not intimidated by their success, by who they are, and yes, as much as one of the other things I wanted to say was that while women have needs, there's another thing that men also want to know is the need for them to feel needed. Even in that very same space. So if we can do much to help men to say you could be doing handiwork and do the hard labor type of job, and yet at the same time be married to the softy office space woman who is occupying high level, but at the same time married to this particular man. The only other challenge there is when it comes to the outside environment, the outside, if you were to date a less successful man, already your cousins and your whoever begins by asking, Debo, where does he work? What does he do? And that's the first pressure you feel already. So the day he comes to the house, poor guy is going to ask, so Chana, what do you do? And guy is thinking to himself, look, I'm only a carpenter. And I love this job. I am in my zone. If I am doing carpentry, I can fix your kitchen. It can look good. I can naturally come in and do designs, all sorts of stuff that I can do with my own hands. But someone is asking, so is that all you can do? And that's what he can do. He doesn't have to talk too much. He doesn't have to know his office way around the office. But this is the man. This is who he is. And are women willing to give such men their time and their attention, knowing that my man is just as good with his hands, and he's not gonna come in here and start talk the lingo in the office. When you get to that, maybe it's gonna take some time. I also think we must progress together.
Yes.
Yes, you start early together where one probably is more successful, but it doesn't mean that that's the end of the road for the other person.
Exactly.
So we must be able to say we will drive together, we will pull each other up and get to the point where we desire to be.
As a team.
As a team together.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you've said a mouthful. Gosh. No, but I love that. I love that you said that the man needs to feel needed, but also culture needs to change. The world needs to change. Because you are right. If I had to bring a guy at home who maybe didn't have a degree but was really good and skillful, I can just see, I can hear the voices, and yet you love this man and he's everything to you. So I think it also starts with the woman. She herself has to be in confidence and in love with this person and say, I'm going to stand by you no matter what. And we're going to face the world. I think it's a big challenge, you know what you're saying. Okay, so, and you also spoke about...
Truly, I mean, I've seen people being separated, not because they don't love each other, but being separated by the voices coming from outside.
Around them.
I've seen people allowing the voice of friends dictating who they should be with and hiding people they are with.
Wow.
So if a successful woman is dating this guy who is a mechanic, or sort of, will be willing to let the friends know I'm dating a mechanic. So people have been allowed to hide such, and any person hidden will eventually feel I'm not worth it in your life, so why are we hiding? Why are we playing this game? Because I am here and I want to be known. And I want to be known. I want, I think, this is me, intentionally, one of the things I would do back in the days was I will quickly ask, what's your mother's number? And your mother's number will be one of the first numbers I probably would have. And I might greet your mother before you know it.
Wow.
And if you are willing to allow me to talk to, and here I'm talking about friends I've known, I've been willing to quickly say, your sister, your cousins, those are the people that are most influential in your life. And so for me, if those people accept me and get to like who I am, ask me the fewer questions that you probably are scared of asking, or because of, when we are dating, we don't really ask the right questions. So it's your mother and it's your defense team that is going to ask me those little questions. So who are you? You say you love the Lord, and you say this and that. So those are the people. And that for me worked a lot, because it allowed me to say, you're not hiding me. You're not hiding me. I am your friend. We'll tell your mother we're friends. We're just friends. So if nothing works out of this, we will remain friends. But one of the things is that you've allowed me to meet the people who will influence how far this relationship goes.
True. Influence how far this relationship goes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So those friends, if you allow him to meet one of your besties, one of your few friends, for instance, my wife, I think she allowed me to meet some of her best friends, and those were at the time people she was doing her future studies with, advancing in that career, and this is the world. These are the people she's spending time studying with, and her allowing me to meet those people allowed me to know that those people, they will have an influence into how far we will go together. And we've remained friends with those people because they allowed me to come into your world. So sometimes your friends are the key holders or stakeholders in the whole very relationship. They tell you, he's not good. No. Friend, let's get out of here. And so-and-so is calling, drop that phone. And it's friends. And eventually you know how to drop the phone, because the voice of your friend is telling you, just
drop that phone.
Drop that phone.
So some of us are single because of our friends and the people who are speaking into our lives.
Definitely.
Sure. Okay, so last question. What advice can you give women to help us not to stay single. Like, what can we do to let guys know we are available? I want to talk to you. How can actually, if I had to talk to a guy and say I like him, most guys run away and they say, "Are you desperate?" Is number one, is that true? And number two, yeah, how do I let a guy know that I'm interested? How do I say to someone I'm interested but without sounding desperate? And maybe no, I'm asking you, my brother. And because in all honesty, because I can see, let's say I'm reading the signs, the guy is interested, I can see, Mara, he's afraid of me, and so, I also, yeah, man, man.
I it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but I think how you don't come out disparate. It's a challenge how in the world where we've been socialized in terms of our masculinity as men, for instance, we want to dictate the pace.
Yes.
Men want to chase. And the chasing is what gives the men the thrill. And so it's when they feel chased, it doesn't, majority of us,
yes,
it doesn't come out well when they feel now they are being chased. And if a woman is so much the one who is now chasing and trying to make this whole thing work, it turns out that it begins to be sort of a turn off for majority of guys.
Okay.
Because you would see them by not being available, and you make the bookings, you make the plans, and he's not available, and all of that, though you give him all the hints. So the chasing gives the thrill for many of us, and for majority of guys. And it's the problem, it's Ravi Zacharias who says, once they catch, they don't know what to do with what they catch.
That's true.
So sometimes it's not that men are not chasing, of those single ladies. I think ladies will know most often that they are having many that are chasing. But it is this one that you say yes to.
Yes.
That once you find yourself in this thing of saying, let's make now, we're starting to work towards this relationship being exclusively, I'm giving you the attention, then he's frustrated now. All of a sudden, he doesn't know what to do with the exclusive attention he's getting. While when he was possibly calling you and saying, "Hi, Debo, how are you?" And he said, "No, sorry, I'm not available today.
Yes.
I'm going out with the girls. Or no, sorry, brother so is visiting." He's kind of jealous, and but he will up the game and he will want to come out talks because there is competition. And the moment you say to him, "Look, so and so is no longer competition. You're the one, and we want to work it out," and he's like, "No, I didn't know it will take this for you. He has to say yes." And so it's funny. What are you going to do? I think for me, let me ask the boys, what are you going to do when she eventually says yes?
What are you going to do? That's the thing. And they don't know what to do with that. So those are the frustrators.
Yes. So the yes they get, but most often it's that yes for them was not their end game. They want to chase and keep chasing. So and it's not even if they get the prize. The unfortunate part is what I know is they will want to stop, not there. They want to feel that I'm still chasing. So even in that whole dating, when you've said yes as a woman, the biggest challenge for you is that be willing to let him still be the initiator and the chaser, until obviously maybe when he get to the point of meeting your parents officially and all of that, then now, well, no more playing hard to get.
Yes.
But in the dating times and all of that, you cannot afford to allow yourself to be given that exclusive attention. What is Joshua Harris, who talks about this exclusive attention thing, that it doesn't help anyone, because then all of a sudden the person would want to kind of ask for things that are only available after marriage, So therein is where you realize, look, this is what I will guard with all my heart. And the Bible talks about guarding your heart, because out of it are the issues of life. So there then begins the point of saying, even though I've said yes, I am not willing to compromise to allow you to enjoy what you can only have in marriage. So that point where you stop and say, this is me, I've said yes, but we are working towards this goal. And he knows that there's still more to chase. And he will chase until that point. But he needs to know also where you stand in terms of your faith.
Did you hear that, ladies? Don't just give it up, okay? Keep him chasing, keep him running after you. I like that. I like that.
Yes.
You said so much. And I feel like we could just keep going and going, but I know that it's probably 30 minutes since we started this session. So I'm going to end it here. But if you guys have any comments, questions, please do post them. And I'm sure I'll have Ish back again. I think this topic is not yet over. I think there's so much more to teach us and tell us. I think, I can give you the girl's perspective, but I think I need a male co-host. I get it. You are a male. A male co-host on Deep Real Talk. I think we've adopted him into the family. So thank you for being with me today.
Welcome, Jemko. Thank you so much for allowing me to come into your space. I've been following your talks, and I believe that any other person following and watching this should be learning quite a lot. You've been authentic, you've been genuine, you've been real about the struggles that women are facing. But I also think if you are a man out there and you're watching out of this, you begin to realize the job that you still have to play, but and also how to learn to love the ladies out there. But at the same time, thank you so much, Debo. Thank you. I enjoyed myself. I enjoy your talks, and
Thank you.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Deep Real Talk family. Have a blessed week and God bless you. Mwah!